What is going on, trainers? DrumVillain here, bringing you some more Pokemon Go PvP content, and today we're talking about a Psychic Cup team. Now, if you've been playing the Psychic Cup for the last day that it's been available, you'll have seen plenty of Malamars, you'll have been seeing plenty of Bronzongs, you'll probably have seen some Victinis, as well as a few other Pokemon, but this meta is generally pretty limited in terms of the actual top few Pokemon that do dominate this cup quite heavily. But I took a look at the meta, I tried a couple of different teams, but there are a couple of Pokemon I specifically wanted to try and make work in this cup, and they have worked very well for me. This team's pretty strong, it's holding its own very well against those top few meta lines, and honestly, the lead, you're catching so many Malamars, and that's really nice to make them have to swap out and put you in an advantageous position, probably to run through the rest of the game with. Now, I want to let this team speak for itself, so be sure to hit the subscribe button, say hi down below, and let's jump right into taking a look at this lineup. So on the lead, we've got Galarian Rapidash. Galarian Rapidash recently got access to Fairy Wind, which is the brand new energy-focused fairy-type fast move for Season 12. Very, very interesting. It's also got access to Body Slam and Mega Horn, so you can one-shot most Psychic types. Definitely one-shot a Malamar. Body Slam is crazy spammable, and there isn't that much that resists it apart from probably Bronzong in this meta. So very, very interesting pick in general. And also, so many people are leading Malamar, and you could hard punish that with the Galarian Rapidash. The Say Swap, we've got Victini. Victini is incredibly powerful in this cup as well. It does resist the fast move from Galarian Rapidash, so if you do see him, Victini is a great answer to it. It also does well against Bronzong, being able to one-shot it with that V-Create, and just generally has immense shield pressure as a Say Swap. Can definitely flip a few mid-games, and even if it still loses, you'll often take a shield on your way out, which then Galarian Rapidash and our Pokemon in the back can take advantage of, and that Pokemon in the back is going to be Claydol. And I kind of was interested in Claydol when I saw that Victini and Bronzong were very meta picks in this cup in general, and also I had a very nice IV shiny Baltoy that I was waiting to evolve, so I thought, well, why not? Hell, let's build it and give it a try. And honestly, this thing is fantastically good, deals with Victini incredibly well, can put in some solid work against Bronzong, and it has surprising amount of bulk. A lot of the things in this meta aren't that bulky because not many people are running Hypnos and Medichams, which are probably the bulkiest picks you can have in this cup. So it's nice to have a Pokemon that can kind of take a super effective hit and not immediately get one shot, and Claydol fills that role very, very well. So the rough gist of this team is we want to see Malamars on the lead or bait them out with Victini, and we ideally want to get Bronzongs in the back lined up against either Victini or Claydol. As far as charge moves on Claydol, you definitely want the Shadow Ball, but then with the second charge move, you can mix and match it for whatever you want, really, but I've gone for Rock Tomb. Now, let's take a look at some battles and see how this team has actually played out for me. First lead up, and we've got Claydol, and this is a pretty neutral matchup, and it isn't the Malamar we want to see, but also we want to keep this Claydol away from our Victini, so we're just going to stay in, go straight for the Mega Horn, see if they let this do it, do monstrous damage. If they don't, Shield goes through, bang! Claydol gets absolutely annihilated, and you got to consider that Claydol is one of the bulkiest Pokemon that you're going to be seeing, so that thing hitting that hard is an incredible amount of damage. But this means we're going to have to force a shield with a Body Slam. We can shield this move up and potentially farm down, so in a very strong position here. The opponent swaps out into Shadow Gardevoir, obviously hoping to quickly snipe us down before we can react. Ideally we'd have swapped straight to Victini and preserved that Body Slam rather than spend the energy, but we're just happy that we didn't actually have to lose the Galarian Rapidash with that energy anyway, so we don't mind it too much. We get a shield out of this Gardevoir, and now we're going to be able to fully farm down. We're going to shield up this move because Gardevoir gets to moves incredibly slowly thanks to Charm's Terrible Energy Generation, and this Victini is loaded, wanting to swap out straight away depending on what comes in, just to prevent us from taking any super effective Mudslap damage from their Claydol if they do bring it in. They've got a Medicham in the back, and Medicham's one that might be a little bit more unusual. You might not see as many of it in this cup in general, just because its fast move and charge moves in general don't really complement it dealing with this meta. It doesn't really have good coverage moves against other Psychic types, but they're going to make an amazing catch onto their Claydol to catch the Shadow Ball, and this puts us, you'd think it puts us in a scary position, but we left Victini with energy, so we're going to be able to just throw a V-Create straight away. We're going to be able to take out this Medicham, and we're going to take this win. It's going to be a GG. The main thing we did wrong in that match was just throwing the Body Slam into Gardevoir. We should have just swapped to Victini straight away. We'd have been in a very similar position without that Body Slam damage and had an extra charge move to throw. But either way, we won the match, so we can't be too harsh on ourselves for making that slip up. Alright, Medicham lead. This is one of the dream leads for Galarian Rapidash. We're double resisting the counters. We'd resist Power Up Punch, we'd resist Psychic. The only move it can throw that wouldn't be resisted is Ice Punch, and that's not going to do very much damage at all because it's not a stab move, it's not a fantastic move as it is. I'm going to go for the Mega Horn, monstrous damage right off the bat. We're going to not shield this up, it's not too threatening. Tis the Ice Punch, does a little bit of damage, and we're just going to build up to as close as we can before they get to another Ice Punch. Throw the Body Slam. If they want to throw another Ice Punch, they've got to give us a shield, which they do very, very nice. We can shield this move up now, farm down the Medicham, and come out with a reasonable amount of energy, ready to threaten whatever's in the back. They choose to swap out straight away into an Alolan Raichu, and a bit of a slip up here in staying in with Rapidash, but also this is going to threaten to one-shot if they don't shield, so it could be seen as a decent play. I'm going to bring in Claydol, see if they've got Grass Knot. If they do, it's going to be super effective, which they do. I know PV Poke recommends you not to run Grass Knot on a Alolan Raichu in this cup, but I think you absolutely should run Grass Knot and Wild Charge on a Alolan Raichu in this cup, to be honest. So we're able to get a shield out of us, but we can farm down entirely. The Medicham comes and we farm him down. We've got a fully loaded Claydol here. What's in the back? Is that a Hypno? We're going to get Shadow Ball. This is going to do big damage. Is it going to take him out? Not quite. Shadow Hypno is incredibly bulky, but we're going to get to another one before they can farm us down. That might have been scary. If they'd have farmed us down there and thrown a Shadow Ball into Victini, that might have been a little bit scary for us, but we're able to take them out, take the win, and that's going to be a GG. Now, I say Medicham's not got much play in this cup, but it can deal with Malamar reasonably well. So the nice thing about Galarian Rapidash is that it beats both Medicham and Malamar quite handily, so it's a nice core breaker for any teams that might try and utilise both of those Pokemon. Speaking of Malamar, we've got one on the lead here, so you're going to see how this matchup can play out in the long run. What we're going to do is we're going to let this move go through because we can comfortably take one foul play. Bear in mind, my Rapidash is quite squishy because it's not PvP IVs, and we're going to go for a Body Slam bait here, and if they don't shield it, then we can just go for multiple Body Slam spams and threaten to take them out. If they do shield, which they do, fantastic, we're going to throw Mega Horn straight away. If they don't shield this, it will annihilate Malamar. It's double super effective. But they do shield it up, so we've got 2 shield advantage at this point. The opponent swaps out into Gardevoir, trying to snipe us down again, but we're going to make it to this Mega Horn. This is going to do monstrous damage. Boom! Gardevoir is absolutely annihilated, and we don't mind that the Malamar gets to survive this situation because we have 2 shields still. Let a move go through, it's just a foul play. Does reasonable damage to our Claydol, but now we're going to be able to shield up and probably farm this thing down all the way and be in a similar position to an earlier game where we had a Shadow Ball at the end of the game, and that's probably going to be very effective against whatever's in the back, especially with a Malamar already used up. So we're just going to farm down with this Mud Slap, keep chipping away, it's fine. It's a little bit close, but we're able to get away with it. What's in the back? It's a Bronzong. This is made for Claydol and Victini. We're going to throw a Shadow Ball, swap to Victini straight away, and race to that V-Create. If they do manage to take us out, we can probably Mud Slap them down anyway with the Claydol. So this game is done and dusted. It's going to be a good game. V-Create comes through, boom, smashes Bronzong to pieces, and that is a win. So you can see from that matchup, this line is able to hold its own against some of these strongest hard meta teams in the Psychic Cup and do reasonably well against them. It's not the safest, most comfortable matchups, but you can definitely give them a run for their money. Right, another Claydol on the lead. We're going to play this out similar way to we did last time. We're going to go straight for the Mega Horn. We're going to put the pressure on because Rapidash can get to these charge moves a lot faster than Claydol can. The biggest drawback of Mud Slap is obviously it's very slow energy generation. So you can see before they get to a move, in fact we're going to get to 2 Mega Horns before they decide to throw. I think they are at a Shadow Ball perhaps already, but they've just chosen not to throw at this point. But we're going to choose to swap out. We've got both shields, and normally Claydol isn't a very good save swap. It does get threatened by some of the more common Pokemon that can be used in this cup, but with 2 shield advantage it can still put a lot of work in. We do get shield baited with a Rock Tomb, which is a little bit unfortunate. We're going to shield up a Shadow Ball that follows, and now the Malamar is going to come in. And this was before I realised that Shadow Ball is a better move to throw at Malamar than Rock Tomb. I wasn't thinking about it in the moment, but also we don't mind getting the attack debuff. It means we can take the hits a little bit better. They are going to have to throw again before we get to a Shadow Ball, or we will take them out. So this Malamar doesn't actually have much excess energy. We're just going to race to a Body Slam with Galarian Rapidash and hope to just very quickly take them out before they take us out, and then hopefully Victini can just sweep what's in the back because its V-Create is going to hit so hard on most picks in general. The Claydol comes back in, we're just going to build up some excess energy, just a smidgen, throw the V-Create, see what's in the back. Can we one-shot it? Can we take them out? Claydol goes down. It's a Shadow Gardevoir. You can see that Charm is doing immense damage now. We've debuffed ourselves with the V-Create defense drop. It's not going to matter. This is going to one-shot. We're going to take out the Gardevoir, take the win, and that's going to be a good game. I do really love how fast Rapidash gets those body slams and how quick Victini gets to the V-Creates. It can be really threatening in situations where once shields are down, you can just get that move off and get that extra little bit of damage to sneak that knockout before they get the chance to do something. Alright, another Malamar lead, so pretty positive to start off this match with, and again, we don't mind the foul plays. We're just going to let it go through, see what the opponent chooses to do. We're just going to keep building up towards that Mega Horn. They actually swap out to Victini, and we're just going to throw the Mega Horn anyway, because this will do big damage if they do choose to let it go through. We get a shield, that's very nice. Now we're going to swap to Claydol, and the way you want to play this matchup out is I let the first charge move go, because it's probably a V-Create, and you can survive it. So we let it go through, that's fine, and now we shield the second V-Create, and their defense is dropped so much that we can just farm them down with Mud Slap and don't have to throw a charge move at all, which is a nice position to come out in because we can throw the Shadow Ball, whatever comes in, which is the Malamar. It's going to threaten big damage, probably get a shield out of them. They have to throw a charge move to take us out. It doesn't get a shield, so that does big damage. This is actually quite nice. It does a lot of work on the Malamar. For us, it puts Victini in a stronger position for the end game. We're bringing Rapidash. We're going to go for a body slam. They swap and catch again on Hypno. We don't mind this too much, but Hypno is generally pretty bulky. It gets the shield though, which is an absolute lifesaver in this situation, because otherwise we'd be in a little bit of a scary spot because if the Hypno can land a Shadow Ball, it's going to do big damage. But now we've got a shield. We know we've got some room to work with. Shield this up, see? It's a Shadow Ball, so now we know we've got like 3 confusions worth of time before we actually can have to throw V-Crate. We're going to choose to throw it straight away, not risk taking a punch. Since our defense is dropped, we know the Malamar's pretty low and in quick attack down range. So we're just going to go for that path. Quick attack down, nice, easy, safe win, and a 5-0 set. I'm telling you guys, I'm having a lot of fun with this team, and the games are nice and quick. It's about 2.5 to 3 minutes per match duration that I'm seeing, and that just adds up when you're doing all your battles in a day. It does really help you burn them out faster. Now, there's a couple of games here that I want to talk to you guys about with just a few things to be aware of. So, this matchup looking pretty strong so far, right? We caught the Malamar with the Rapidash. We've got Claydol on their Victini, so we're looking pretty solid. Let the charge move go through. That's fine. V-Crate, yep, sure, we survive. I'm going to go for the tactic of just shielding this move up, farming down entirely, throwing Shadow Ball at the Malamar. So far, so good. We're looking pretty cushy. So, what could possibly go wrong, right? We're in a very strong position. The opponent brings back in the Malamar. We're going to go for the Rock Tomb rather than Shadow Ball. We're expecting a shield, to be honest, since we've already gone down a shield in this matchup. We get the attack drop. That's very nice. We're going to keep chipping away at each other. They're going to build up energy before taking us out. They're going to catch a Shadow Ball on Bronzong. Not really sure what the play is there. We're just going to get the shield, swap to Victini, and go straight for a V-Crate, I think, as soon as we can, because either way, if they get to a payback, we got to shield it up, whether we're debuffed or not. Go for that move straight away. Big damage. We don't quite get the farm down. A little bit unfortunate. Are we going to shield this up? Probably not, no. We're going to let the Victini go down, save the shield for the Galarian Rapidash. We're primed to win. Shield advantage, right? We can survive a foul play, right? Nothing to worry about, right? Wrong. Boom. Hyper Beam. We get absolutely annihilated, smashed to 1,000 pieces, and this Malamar is going to get to 2 foul plays before we get to another Shadow Ball, and they're going to take us out, and we're going to lose, all because of their Hail Mary Hyper Beam. Watch out for Hyper Beam on Malamars, guys, because it will wipe out your Rapidash. It's a hard-hitting move. So shout out to that trainer for getting the Hail Mary Hyper Beam through. I couldn't help laughing at that when it happened. I was just so gobsmacked at myself for letting that go through. And yeah, GG's to you. This matchup, yeah, we're not in a brilliant position. We got the Shadow Gardevoir against our Rapidash. They've got Claydol against our Victini, which isn't fantastic for us in general. Rapidash isn't really bulky enough to take those charms from Shadow Gardevoir. It can charm through you very quick. We're going to at least get a shield with the Victini here, and a shield advantage against something like Shadow Gardevoir is very important, because you just generally need to get one charge move through to really threaten them. So they're going to throw a move. We're going to shield it up, obviously. We're going to build up a lot of excess energy because the fast move pressure here is a lot less than it is against the Gardevoir. So we're going to build up to double body slam. Set this off. What are they going to do? They're going to shield it up? Probably not. They don't, they let it go through, that's fine. Gardevoir comes in, we throw a body slam. This does put some shield pressure on them, though Gardevoir can survive a body slam from Galarian Rapidash. It's not the hardest hitting move, but we got shield advantage. We swap out into Claydol. They've got Bronzong. We're going to go straight for the Shadow Ball. This will take out the Bronzong, I do believe. Maybe, yep, takes him out. The Gardevoir comes in. Now the problem here is they're going to be able to charm us down. But can we take them out? We can't quite. Galarian Rapidash is low. Can we fast move them down? We can't. We tie. We grind each other down. So very well played to that trainer. It's always fun to actually have a tie against another trainer. This matchup, I'm going to show you guys what Victini can do as a say swap. Bronzong's generally not what Rapidash wants to see on the lead, so we're going to swap straight out to Victini and see what this opponent wants to do. We're just going to go for a V-Crate because they're building up excess energy. That's fine. We get a shield. They store their energy and swap out into Deoxys, and you can see that the counters aren't really doing that much damage to us because we're resisting them even though we've debuffed ourselves defensively, and we're just able to spam these V-Crates out. We're going to get to 2 more against this Deoxys before it throws a move at us, and at this point we already can't take any more defense debuffs. We take them out before they even throw a charge move at us. Like, that's pretty incredible. We almost get another V-Crate off on the Hooper that comes in. Shout out to this trainer for the spice. Bringing a Hooper, I don't know if it's got good play. I don't think its fast move's any good. I think it has Astonish, which is just unfortunately a terrible fast move currently. So if it gets a move buff, Hooper's probably got some interesting play in cups like this, but for now, it does struggle a little bit. So now we've got Bronzong against, and Hooper against our Claydol and Galarian Rapidash. We're in a pretty decent spot. The Shadow Ball from Hooper is obviously very, very threatening, but we're able to take out this Bronzong to fast move him down. The Hooper has to throw energy to take us out. These Mud Slaps are going to be threatening pretty heavy damage. We're going to swap into Galarian Rapidash, tempt them to have to throw, go for a body slam spam, see what they choose to do, and they're just going to choose to let it go because they realise that Hooper alone cannot deal with our 2 Pokemon in the back, and that's going to be a GG. The opponent severely underestimated how fast Victini can build energy in that Deoxys matchup, and it did allow us to take switch advantage and shield advantage, which is definitely an oversight on their part because they really should have been able to take that game from us. This next game we've got Malamar on the lead, so once again, positive lead. Like I said, there's so many Malamar leads in the Psychic Cup. Galarian Rapidash is a very nice pick to have on lead purely for the Malamars that you're going to run into. And a very common tactic you're going to see is Malamars swapping into Bronzongs to catch Mega Horns like they did there. This is fine. We're going to bring in Victini, and it's going to help us showcase another thing about Victini that people underestimate, because generally like, oh, Malamar's a good answer to Victini and the Psychic types in general, or even Shields, right? And this Malamar doesn't really have that much of an energy advantage. It has some of an energy advantage because it did build up excess before swapping into the Bronzong to catch a move, but Victini is super spammy as well, and that means that we're going to be able to get shields out of them as well in this situation. Victini is also going to win CMP tie in a lot of situations against Malamar, so you're in a strong position. You can command shields, and if you're able to get a V-Crate through, it's going to do monstrous damage. And I think that this is a Malamar that again misjudged the energy on Victini because I was overcharging slightly before throwing, and then because they were being greedy for the energy on the Malamar, we were able to sneak a V-Crate through last second and take them out before they threw and finished us off. And even though we dropped our defense as far as it can go, there's still no fast move pressure. They're still going to get a charge move through to finish you off, which is a very nice thing about Victini in a lot of matchups in this cup in general. Alright, now in this game I'm going to opt for a slightly different tactic. I'm going to build up to a Mega Horn and throw it before swapping out. And I don't generally recommend doing this, I just swap to Victini straight away. But this game showcases why it's important to bait out a Malamar in the back if you can in this cup. When I choose to shield this move up, the payback would definitely one-shot us. That's fine. And Malamar is going to come in. I'm just going to go for a V-Crate on the CMP tie specifically, just to make sure we get this through and they don't feel like they can get extra energy if they are counting accurately. That's fine. Let Victini go down. We just need to land a Body Slam from the Rapidash to finish this thing off. We're just going to hope that Claydol can do pretty well towards the end of this game. Bear in mind the Claydols took quite a lot of damage from the Mega Horn at this point, so it is relatively low, but we are down a shield. They've got a Victini in the back, which generally isn't a good matchup for Rapidash. We're going to choose to let this go through because we actually got greedy for energy. realised that we just want to shield for Claydol and hopefully just fast move our way through. This Victini, as far as I'm aware, is locked in here and can't swap out, and it's dropped its defense, and we can survive a V-Create again. So we're just going to let that go through, and we're just going to fast move our way through the rest of this game and just save that shield. The opponent's realising there's nothing they can do, and we're going to take that win. A lot of teams are running both Victini and Bronzong, and that makes them double weak to Claydol, which makes it a fantastic core breaker in matches like that, as long as you can bait out the one Claydol counter that they do have. Okay, I got 2 more matchups for you guys from this morning, just because I was happy with how I played these games. I thought they were a great showcase of what this team can do, especially against hard meta lines and not necessarily the most positive situations, but still being able to pull it out of the bag. In this matchup, we've got a level 51 Purified Best Buddy Charm Wobbuffet, which is absolutely bananas to have ready and built in general for the Great League. Wobbuffet's a disgustingly strong Pokemon. Obviously has access to Charm rather than the usual move of Counter that you would normally see on a Wobbuffet, just because obviously the Counter is going to be resisted by most things in this cup, whereas the Charm's going to be neutral to most things. In this cup, we're going to choose to swap out to Victini, and we're just going to start spamming these V-Creates. We've already got a shield out of them with our Mega Horn, and we just wanted to see if we could bait something out with the Victini Safe Swap, but they're choosing to stay in, so we're just going to go for Mega V-Create Spam. We come out with some excess energy, they come in with Victini, we're going to throw more V-Creates because again there isn't that much fast move pressure, our defense is already through the floor, we can't lower it any further, so we're just going to spam them off, get shields, do big damage, see what this opponent's got in the back. We've got a shield advantage, what can we do? We're going to let this move go through because even if it's an overheat, which will do big damage, it won't take us out. And we're assuming that there might be a Malamar in the back, and not just because they got Wobbuffet and it's meta, you know, so I'm just expecting the Malamar, and there it is, there's the Malamar. We're bringing the Rapidash, we're going to race to the Mega Horn, we can survive a foul play. If they threw unjust, we would have just survived a foul play. It would have been close because, like we said, our Rapidash is a little squishy. Mega Horn, boom, takes them out. We're going to race to the Body Slam. The opponent realises it's game over and they're going to surrender there. GG. Very happy there to take a win against the very, very hard meta line of Wobbuffet, Victini and Malamar. And in this last matchup, we've got a Gardevoir lead. Terrible for our Rapidash, as we've said, because the Charms will take us out before we even get to 2 Body Slams. So we're going to throw one and then swap to Victini and see what we can bait out of the back. This opponent actually realises that Gardevoir can survive a Body Slam from Galarian Rapidash, which is very unfortunate for us because generally the main takeaway of that kind of lead situation is that you can get a shield from the Gardevoir, which we don't get, which is very, very unfortunate. We miscount the Rapidash's energy and end up taking a Mega Horn as well, which hits Victini like an absolute truck. But we've got a spare V-Crate ready to go, which we're going to throw into this Shadow Gardevoir, maybe get a shield, maybe take it out. We do get the shield, that's not too bad for us. We're going to get Charm down, which isn't ideal, but we can bring in Claydol, fast move them down before they can get to a Shadow Ball, so we've still got 2 shields intact, although there is a Malamar in the back. Our Rapidash is now in foul play range as well. This is quite threatening. We're going to let this move go through because Claydol can take a foul play very, very comfortably because it's pretty bulky. And we're just going to save both shields for Galarian Rapidash. We're going to keep chipping away here. They can't fast move us down. They have to throw again to finish us off. That's fine. Let it go through. This Malamar's down. It's got 0 shields. We've got 2. It doesn't matter how much energy they've got. This game's in the bag. We're going to get to the Body Slam straight away, take them out, and we're going to take a 2 shield win against a Shadow Gardevoir lead. So very, very happy with that matchup. GG's to the opponent. And that's where I'm going to leave this video and this team with you guys. So let me know what you guys think of the team. Are you playing Psychic Cup or Great League this week? And I hope you've all had a fantastic start to the Season 12 of Go Battle League. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will catch all of you absolute legends next time.